Welcome to Standard Chartered Money Insights, a podcast series by Standard Chartered Bank that brings you market views and insights on the go.
Hello and welcome to Cut to the Chase. My name is Jonathan Liang, CIO of Fixed Income and FX. Today is July 15th and I'm going to talk about two things. First, the inflation numbers released out of the US overnight. And second, Fed Chair Warsh's first semi-annual testimony to Congress that also happened overnight. So let's start with inflation. Overall, the June inflation report supports a view that peak inflation and peak Fed hawkishness may be behind us. Headline CPI fell 0.4% month on month, while core CPI was unchanged. Annual headline and core inflation numbers slowed to 3.5% and 2.6% respectively, below market expectations. Notably, this was the first time in many years that consumer prices actually fell month on month, led by a drop in gasoline prices. Now, while the recent re-escalation in the Mideast conflict in recent days may bring about some uncertainty about the path forward, there are some important key components worth noting from the CPI numbers. First, shelter came in at only plus 0.1%, the smallest increase since January 2021. And second, core goods coming in at negative 0.1%, suggesting that tariff pass-throughs may be moderating. All in all, these inflation numbers were welcomed by the markets, with U.S. equity markets rising and bond yields falling. Importantly, shorter-term treasury yields fell more than long-end yields, suggesting market expectations of a less hawkish Fed. But longer-term fiscal concerns remain, keeping long-end term premium elevated. Now, let's turn to Fed Chair Warsh's first semi-annual testimony to Congress. Warsh stuck to the script and emphasized the central bank's commitment to price stability, although I would note that in his opening statement, commitment to full employment was also mentioned, unlike his first press conference at the mid-June FOMC meeting. During his testimony, he also made clear that his personal view was the size of the Fed's balance sheet was too large in today's post-GFC environment, and that a task force was looking into the most prudent way forward on balance sheet policy. My overall take from overnight developments is that a softer CPI print supports our thesis on potential peak inflation and peak Fed hawkishness for now. The Mideast conflict remains a wild card we need to monitor, but the softer CPI print, together with preparing the task forces to start work after the summer, with the findings only coming at the end of the year, likely means that the Fed stays on hold for 2026. On the other hand, the removal of forward guidance and Warsh's inclination to shrink the Fed's balance sheet could be incremental sources of uncertainty and volatility going forward, which, once again, reminds investors the importance of staying diversified and invested. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next time.
Thank you for listening to Standard Chartered Money Insights, a podcast series by Standard Chartered Bank. For more details, visit Market Views on the Go on our website or click the link in the description.